but like just a little bit of water, you know. And I thought, well, that probably won't happen. I thought maybe I could take rocks and then kick them up on to the water or on the land, and then stand on the rocks and then go, and then change or change in the water, and then, you know, and then I never really could figure it out. Dang. Okay. Oh, is it still going? Oh, we're recording a new video, so that'll work. So that's that. And about the boss thing, and there was the Shakespeare fellow and stuff like that. He was like Stephen, just like my name in the high school play in at Cascade. His thing though was he would spell it with a V or something. He'd go like that. I don't know. He said something like that, and I don't know. Does this like time it or add anything at all? Oh hell, will you figure it out? It's first day of June or some darn thing, and it's afternoon. What do you want? You're the ones that should be following me. I talk like this probably about every day. I reveal stories like this. Usually I probably go on at least a half an hour, probably about 2 hours. Okay, I go out to the forest out there and all that other kind of stuff. All anybody that's looking at me is just to say is just, you could follow me around. Everybody else does. You could, I don't know, do this. I guess it's not time, so it doesn't count. Well, to hell with it, you know. I mean, who the hell are you following other than me, you know? I'm the real thing. Coca-Cola, sponsor. Anyway. Oh, look, they're doing the windows. I was talking about the windows in the last video. Anyway, you know, and just, you gotta insist on it. My main thing is just like, I want people to go, it is all about him. He's got these like stories. I want to hear more. Someone's gonna say, no, you can't hear the other ones, because of course it would end up, like, you know, the whole thing would end up probably like in hours. And no matter what your opinion of me, you know, it'd be like, that would do it. You know, people would be like, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. But damn, if I'm going to be doing this kind of, any kind of whatever. So, you know. Anyway, it's your problem, not mine. I got to make room. And people, you know, take up a lot of land. And it's a nice day. And who gets here? I think it's a mix of the rest of the world for Portland, I think. Most of it, though, is going to be Chinese, you know, like here in Oregon. Much of southern Oregon is going to be Chinese and Mexico, because Mexico has a lot of land that people are going to want like later. We pipe it in from the Yukon and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the more acreage I can have of, you know, outdoor space like this, so that they can get out and walk around in forests and, you know, play soccer or something, and, you know, whatever it is they want to do, go out and play golf in the Willamette Valley, you know, and then take that tube back home, you know. That's, you know, we should have been there a very long time ago, and we're not, so. Yeah, the kid made the basket, and the dog caught it. Yeah, there you go. Got it. Anyway, so, you know, now you got to think of something else to talk about. Oh, dowel is that was like slang for gentleman's genitalia. And when I knew Mitalia, or Midala, or Milia. I never really could quite get it. Maybe I called her Millie for short, but I don't think so. And there was some name that she didn't want me calling her. And, hello, doggy. Oh, it's like right at my foot. Hey. Dang, he's like my dad. That's like Dahai. Gosh, I might eat him. He was like... he's the Durango fellow or something like that. President of Philippines is what he's acting now, and the Dalai Lama. Dahai. And is it Dahai? Dahai. See, I didn't quite, it's a funny story. See, I woke up one day and found myself in America, or whatever they were calling it in those days. And, so, anyway, so, yeah, yeah, she's now Faith Hill. And I knew her. She was a washer girl on the boats back in the colonial days in the, I would say 1600s. It may have been the 1700s. I'm still kind of working on a date on that. It may have been the I think it was the 1600s. And she was a washer girl, and all that went along with it. And so Faith Hill, I think also. Who else? Paula Cole. So, and so there's even like I've been talking about her for about a week now. There was even that Max thing with like Cole Fletcher kind of thing going on. Fletcher is one woman I dated not that long ago, Susan Fletcher, about 2003, and it was on video too, and you need to see it. Let's see, and then Fincher, or I should say April Frymouth Fincher. Now, it was the girl that I dated at Pacific Junior High School. Britney Spears, everybody. That's it. That is. She's also like Suzanne Vega. She was doing that like right after that. I'm guessing. Yeah, I think so. I was just like figuring that out, and so dated her. It was like that was like was it March and April? It was like February and March, I think it was, of 1986, and she had her tonsils taken out when I was dating her, and a bunch of green pus came out all over the place. The doctor never saw the worst case. That's what she said anyway. And so I analyze videos or something sometime. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, and I dated her on let's see, the Midalia girl, and the girl that was a washerwoman. The next one was Theresta, like kind of like Therift Blue and like being arrested. It was like Theresta, and then the one on the other ship that was the most north, that was Theresta, was on the one the most south. The one that was on the most, and she's like in heart. The other girl, I don't know if she's the one like in heart or not. The other sister, she's like Nancy Wilson, the Theresta girl. And I'm still kind of figuring out the other one, because I'm pretty sure she's the one that was in the North boat, it does now the Kathy Bates routine and stuff like that. And she was actually the first washerwoman, because they thought it'd be kind of a nice thing if someone like me, like, hang out with a girl like that, and you gotta be okay with it, and it's a nice thing, you gotta be nice to everybody on that particular ship. The captain of that one, I'm pretty sure that was the Donald Rumsfeld one, and he was like Donald Rumsfeld, and anyway, so I spent time with that girl. Midalia, okay, say something about her. Darn, I was talking about her before, doing some like gestures and things like that about her, and Starbucks like the other day, and I've been doing that for like the last week, and I don't know, maybe I should get like music videos or something and talk about her. Oh, one time we were at the edge of the boat. She's also Kate Winslet. And the Theresa is that redheaded woman, and she looked just almost like her in Titanic. And then you got Kathy Bates is like Molly Brown. Kathy Bates girl, she had like a patch it looked almost sort of like plaid. It was like a patch, and it was like it was a little bit of like old red. It was more of like a maroon, I guess. Had like black, a little dark green in it and stuff like that. And she got it from some women that would make it, and it was actually very sturdy and practical, and she really liked it. And Metalia had a maroon dress where it was kind of like red, and it like turned brown. It was like considered kind of like a cheap red. Red was really expensive, and she got hers like second, third, and fourth hand or something like that. And I don't know, what do you do? It's coming for me. I'm gonna get it. Okay, wish me luck. Metalia talked about her work as a washerwoman. She was actually quite proud of the fact that she got the work. She was like a second hand, I think, on a ship. I'm not even entirely sure. She may have like done it without much pay or something to kind of prove herself on a shorter voyage. I almost think the ship went out and then it turned around and went back to shore or something like that. I really don't remember very well. I'm worried about the wind making a lot of sound. Her biggest problem was that she was very, very thin, and they didn't think like a washerwoman could like cut it that way. She got some kind of a thing that was sort of similar to like burlap. It was a little bit more substantial, but not by a whole lot. It had to dry well, and she would layer up in about 3 different layers of the thing, and then she had this like cheap sheet that they had. That was about like, it was about so, I think, because sheets were very expensive in those days. And she would wrap herself up in the cheat sheet, and then about 3 layers of the burlap, and she would go out and like work. And she had to prove that she could work in that without, having to take it off. And she wouldn't get like cold. So you needed like women that were like big and hefty of some sort. They had to like have some substance on them. To be out there, otherwise they wouldn't hire him as washerwomen. Somehow I think she got on there and just like, just did. What is that dog? All by itself. I guess the people are like right there. I just don't see them. And anyway, so she went and she worked and she proved her worth. She was good about things. I think she was better about some things that they did that, there was like some things that she like specialized in or something that was better than like others or something, and things like that. And she proved herself kind of like worthy, and she was very proud of the fact that we went along the I think it's the starboard side of the ship. It's going like this, and that's like the front of it, and it's like the starboard's like the right side, I think. Anyway, it's that side of the ship, and we walked along, and she was rather she looked like Kate Winslet in Titanic, where she's like kind of bragging about this side of the thing. And the only thing is that in that she's like this high class woman and stuff like that. When I knew her, she was kind of she was just like she had scars all over. She was very something. She was very thin, and she had the hair that like I've done like in pictures and stuff, which is basically like this, except for little knots and things like that. There was sort of a thing with the women that they didn't want to necessarily look too pretty. They weren't supposed to. It was bad luck, and they didn't want to do anything bad luck-wise. And then they would usually keep a little touch of femininity. For her, it was a little bit of long hair, like right there, just a little bit. It was like only about like that long. And I thought she was pretty though. So I remember when I first met her or saw her. Not when I first met her. Like formally, I just was fascinated by her. I watched her go. The one thing I regret was, when she went up the plank, she went like grabbed the thing, started going up the. I looked away and then real quick, and then she started going up the plank, and then I turned for a second, which is the stupidest thing. And I looked again, and she was like still going up to get up on the thing, to get to the the northernmost ship. Her ship was the next one over, and I missed her going from so much of the plank, like, I saw like the first 2 or 3 feet. I don't know why I looked away. I think I was even half kind of going, is that her on the thing? But she should be on the dock. And it's like I looked over there, and then I was like, no, she's that woman, that the person that's, the thing that's going up the plank. I wasn't used to seeing people go up planks, And it's like you see somebody by the stairs, and they start going up the stairs, and you're just like, what happened to the person? It's like, oh, that person that's wearing the same thing, that's on the stairs. And I regretted it because I missed her from there to like top the rest of the plank. And damn, okay, and that's not on film. Somebody else, quarters are out sketching. The same thing. Anyway, and we had a talk then, because she wanted to get into the business about like what she was doing and stuff. So she kind of went walking along like this. Mostly we walked towards like the front of the ship, the bow or something like that. And so she was like talked about it. She had that look. She was actually like rather proud of like all the work she did. I was very proud of her too. People kind of go, but there's other stuff that she did. Are you proud of that? And I was just like, well, she worked hard for the money that she had. In those days, I didn't really necessarily put a lot of judgment. I didn't really necessarily judge her for it. So, and you kind of got to figure you got to take people as they are. So if you want to take them, and if you don't want to take them, you don't have to do anything with them. And I liked her, so there was things too where like on the port side near the cabin, cop, something like that. I remember we did some like work with some of the sailors or something. It'd be kind of like fun, and they'd kind of like, after a while they kind of noticed they were kind of looking like this and kind of like that. And I'm out there with my girlfriend, and we're doing stuff. We're kind of flirting a little bit and stuff like that, and it's just like, she would be like later going, maybe, I don't know if they did so much when they were dockside. Maybe some, I don't know. It seemed like it was like a thing though. As soon as they got out though, it was like there was like a rush to get to the washer girl to be you put in your request and then she'd do her thing, and then it was like the next one, and so it was just sort of like and it was like there was all this uncomfortableness, but she was like really nice about it because like she would kind of like look at them. Well, she was like working on the edge of the boat or whatever it was called over here, and the cabin would be like kind of like there, more that way and stuff. And she'd kind of look at them and look at me and kind of look at them and stuff. And I'd be kind of like, there's the girlfriend, and she was just like, damn, okay, you know what? If he's all right with it, I guess I'm all right with it. She had this kind of thing where she was like that. I don't know what we were doing. It's like nets. I think that's what we were working on. Kind of like that or something like that. But they weren't. I think they were more for like carrying. They were carrying like manhandlers or man carriers or something like that. Basically, they were you just climb up things like that. For some reason, like sometimes I see like movies, they have like ropes and they're like these big squares and stuff like that. These were like really kind of small. They were not on like a chain link fence, and that kind of thing. They were sort of more like that. It was considered, this was just a very efficient way of like getting about here and there and things like that. There was one that was like real thin, and you had to kind of go up and around it like that. Some people were pretty good at that, doing that stuff. Some other people had to practice how to do that just in case they lost that particular fellow or something like that. And before they went out to sea, and it was anyway. So there was one day. Well, I hadn't got to the part where there was like one day where she told me all the stuff that she like did, and that was like in the middle of the. There's like the bow of the ship like that, and then there's like here, we were like at the step of sorts, and we talked about, she talked about that and went on. I was like, whoa, that's what you do. It was like, oh, geez, okay, gosh, It wasn't so much like, oh, that's horrible or disgusting. It was just sort of like, wow, you do that with a bunch of fellows. I'm not quite sure I'm not sure what to think of it. She was like, yeah, well, that's how I am. That's just, there we go. That's what you do. You got to know this stuff because you're here. If you're going to be here, you got to know what everybody does because everybody knows what they're doing. And one of these days, you might just be on one of these things, and you'll be there. I got my work, and then when I'm done with my work, we can, get together or something like that. If you were on one of these ships, although she was just like, well, first and then this, and then that time, and then the next day, and the next day, I don't know. And then there was like, I think some kind of lull after about 3 or 4 days or something like that. And then we would spend time then and stuff. And we were talking about like what we would do when we got out on the ship. And and I was just kind of like, wow, okay. I wasn't like so stunned. It was just more kind of like, wow, that's the new thing that didn't know people did so much. And anyway, there was one day where she was like, I gotta talk. I gotta tell you the business end of what I do and stuff like that. And she was just like, yeah, I got lucky, and you know, most girls get pushed out. There's a lot of competition for that particular work. There was one girl that was like Karen Carpenter, and she wanted that kind of like work, and she practiced on me, and she needed the practice. So I almost lost my left one to her. And then there's Mom. Katie Segal, everybody. I'll talk about that later, because I'm talking about Mini Love right now. Hold on a second, I can see how much time I got. Not a whole lot of time. And so anyway, anyway, she would walking and talking about it. I keep thinking I should tell everybody what she does, but she was just like, look, I do this thing, and then I do that thing, and then I do this thing, and you know what? There's like this thing with the ropes that she could do. I forgot what it was. I think she won out some contest and beat out, I think, at least one male or something like that on ship. And they decided after that no more contests because it didn't go over real well with all the fellas there. And something about climbing up to something. It could be like a crow's nest. I'm not sure. Should probably put shoes on. I'll do that in a second. Safety can wait. Anyway, so it was something kind of like that. It wasn't that way far up or something like that, but it was like a kind of a short thing or something like that. I think the guys challenged her to it or something. They said some guy couldn't do it faster than her, and I think the guy could, but there was like another fellow that wanted to do it. There was a bunch of fellows that did it, and it wound up being, I think, she was like faster than him or something. That one fellow, than she was, and it created a bit of a fight, and or something. It was some kind of like problem and things like that, and but she was like quite proud of the fact that she got that kind of like. She got that work, and she was working for a house. It was like we were in Boston, Corbettville place, and it was like north would be like that way. It was like some place like kind of like over there. It was like one place she's sighted on land or something like that. The ship was coming in and went in like that. She said maybe that would be like a nice place. I would guess now. I'm just not thinking of it. I thought of the location before, and it was like inland somewhere from outside of Boston. Now I'm actually thinking it's like Salem. Salem, Oregon, and it's the second most common name other than Springfield, for a U.S. City, and anyway, you're just now getting it. Are we live? Are we being? Is this? This isn't going on YouTube, is it? Anyway, so that was that was a little story about Millie. I know it's like not much, but she like went and walked along the side and stuff. We had like a really nice time. I was proud of her, and I don't think she heard that from like a lot of people. I don't think she got along with her. I don't think she got along with her dad or something, and she didn't know very much about her mom or something. It's like she went for like another town and lived with some other people and worked for them or something. I forgot what. And really just thought about for like a long time getting on like a ship to like work and stuff like that. She didn't think she could actually like do it, and she found a way to do it, and she got lucky, you know, because she was really kind of thin for that sort of thing, and she was determined to like work. I think there was even times where she wouldn't pause to take off blankets and things like that she might have to keep herself warm, just to show that she was like determined to work. And then I think she found some way to kind of slip off one blanket or something at a time, or time it so she could take the whole thing off and like continue working, and then put it back on. Because the captain didn't like seeing her like changing all the time. They just wanted a big woman that was out there.